This problem asks us to find the surface area if the curve y equals 1/4 x squared minus 1/2 times the natural log of x is rotated about the y-axis between x equals 2 and x equals 5. In general, surface area is the integral of 2 pi times x times the square root of 1 plus dy dx squared. The derivative of y, since the derivative of x squared is 2x, becomes 1/2 x. And the derivative of natural log is 1 over x, so we get 1 over 2x. We'll focus on that dy dx for just a second, noticing that the common denominator between the two would be 2x. And if we bring those two fractions together, we would get x squared minus 1 over 2x. So in this next step, we'll focus on what happens if we square that term in parentheses. The denominator would be 4x squared. So we rewrite the 1 as 4x squared over 4x squared, and then proceed to distribute the expression that was in parentheses. X squared minus 1, when we square it, is x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 1, all over 4x squared. Now we'll bring the two fractions underneath the radical into a single fraction, so that this numerator becomes 4x squared plus x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 1. The denominator of 4x squared stays the same. Now notice in the denominator that the square root of 4 is 2, so that it'll cancel with the 2 that's outside of the radical. Likewise, the square root of x squared is x, which also cancels with the outside. So what we're left with inside of the radical is 4x squared plus x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 1. And that expression, once combined and factored, becomes x squared plus 1 times x squared plus 1, which is just x squared plus 1 squared. Since we're taking the square root of something that's squared, we're left with just x squared plus 1. And now we're ready to take the antiderivative. We'll bring the pi to the outside. The antiderivative of x squared is 1/3 x cubed. The antiderivative of 1 is x. So all we're left to do is to plug the 5 and the 2 into the antiderivative and subtract the results. When we plug in 5, we get 125/3 plus 5. When we plug in 2, we get 8/3 plus 2, so we have to change those signs since we're subtracting. Combining those terms is 117/3 plus 3, for a final total result of 126 pi over 3.